seems like we play Arkansas early in the SEC all the time, whether it be here or there. Probably not a tougher place to open, just because of the fan base and the intensity, the noise. Last time we were there, we were number one in the country and got court stormed, and it's a great venue, great history and tradition, and it's a really good team. They played as tough a schedule, as there is in the country. Their losses a couple like to North Carolina or to Oklahoma. Lost to some teams that are potentially, Elite Eight type caliber teams. They beat Duke at home in the SEC matchup. The outstanding offensive team. They average about a little over 82 points a game, and they're good. They're better offensively this year than they were last year, even though they lost a couple of first-round draft picks. They're better. They're quicker in the backcourt. They're faster. They shoot it better. Last year, if they had an Achilles heel, it was their ability to shoot the basketball. That's not the case this year. They're shooting 35% from three, and they make 7 of them a game. So our great challenge will be obviously defensively. How do we guard them? In their losses, they've been in the mid 70s, low 70s, and so they're scoring 82. We're holding teams to 68. If we can hold them down in the 70s, we got a fighting chance. Last time we went on a true road game at App State, we didn't handle it very well, didn't shoot it very well. We battled and hung on, so this will be I would say this will be the toughest challenge of the year. This is the most talented team we played. This team is more talented than Baylor. They got more depth, and they were preseason pick 3rd in our league. So not everybody will be able to go to Arkansas and have a chance. We hope to be a team that can go on the road and compete with the best teams in our league, and this is certainly one of them.
You mentioned the App State game as like a turning point in the season so far for this team. As you head back on the road again for the first time since then, what have you guys learned about playing a road game with this team?
Well, the guys will. Obviously, the crowd noise it'll be deafening. So we rely on communication a great deal. Both the players out there on the floor communicating with each other in coverages. They won't hear each other nearly as well, so they've got to be able to read body languages and things along those lines. They won't be able to hear me, and so play calling will be challenging. And so they're going to have to pay closer attention in an adverse situation. Great home court advantages do 2 things. One, it can elevate the level of play of the home team, and it's always elevated Arkansas's play. Okay, Neville Arena elevates our play. It just does. All right. Sometimes the environment can also be a factor with the opponent. We see that in Jordan-Hare Stadium every year. We see it every year. I think that last year, I don't think the road environment was a factor for us. I thought we handled it pretty well. We lost some close games on the road, but those close losses were really important in our making the NCAA tournament and our being in an 8-9 game. But I did think the environment at App State affected our play. I do. I think it affected our play. And it may have elevated App State's play. If our play gets affected adversely in Arkansas, we'll get run out.
Bruce, you've coached in this league a long time. What does it take to win on the road in this league? Like the teams that you've had that have been able to do that consistently, what is there anything that kind of stands about them?
Defensive rebounding, win championships, and the ability to guard and make it hard for them, and don't give them second shots, and being able to obviously make shots, make free throws, and not turn the ball over. So if we can continue to take care of the ball, we've got to shoot it better, and not get beat in transition and a crazy track meet. we haven't had success. We've only been on a true road game, one game. So we've done a great job in neutral sites. We're going to learn a lot.
Do you kind of turn up the intensity for SEC play from like a practice and preparation perspective, or do you say, hey, we're on a 6-game winning streak, kind of ride the things you guys are doing? I guess just how does preparation sort of change for you guys going into SEC, or is it similar to non-con?
Oh, it's exactly the same. It is. I'm a pretty. It's not superstition. It's just I like the routine of what we do and how we do it, and whether it's a Tuesday, Saturday, we set it up for Chattanooga Saturday, Penn Tuesday, and then a Saturday game in conference, and then a Tuesday Texas A&M game. We sort of set that up so that we could begin to feel like we were in a conference, play. And we open up against 2 of the top 5 teams in the league in Arkansas and Texas A&M. But it'll be the same. And one of the reasons why I coach the same way, one of the reasons why I practice the same way, and I don't change, is they don't see me any more excited of playing Arkansas than Arkansas State. It just don't. I'm the same, and I want them to be. I want them to be, excited about playing every opponent.
Trey and Aiden, obviously, they've been playing well. What do you I guess, first of all, do you like kind of where they're at going in SEC play? And what are you telling them to try to prepare them for SEC play? Or is it just you're going to find out?
Yeah. Well, I think you got to give your point guards credit when your offensive analytical numbers are where they are right now, because they're trusting their teammates in transition and not just sitting on the ball. They're getting it ahead and trusting the advance passes and some of the rim runs. And then, for the most part, they're not trying to do too much for themselves and then get themselves in trouble and then have to get bailed out. All right? They're taking good shots. They're making good plays. They're being efficient. They're both capable of doing more offensively, but also there's something said about not getting themselves in too much trouble, and that's been really positive for them. It's just called valuing possessions. Defensively, they're both targets. They're both, because they're young and they're small by standards of the league. So they're both going to get targeted. They're gonna find a way to get those matchups and attack those matchups defensively. And I'm not giving any scouting report away. That's just what they're going to do. It's what I do as a play caller.
Coach, just to shift gears a little bit, the women open SEC play today against really historic Tennessee team. Just kind of what have you seen being in the building with Coach Jay? What have you seen? How has she kind of changed this program? And obviously she has them sitting pretty well heading into SEC play themselves as well.
Well, this is as athletic a team as she's had. They're quick. And she's got some size on the front line. She's not, they've been so short-handed the last couple of years. It's been a talent mismatch, and she's got an SEC talent level roster right now, and she's got some balance inside out and some kids that are hard to cover, and they're playing well together. So excited for tonight's game. Last time Tennessee came in here, they lost, and we'll see if we can repeat that again tonight.
Bruce, I want to ask you about KD. Senior year, it's a a career low in minutes, but if you look across the board, his efficiency's up, his play's up overall. Just how much have you seen him kind of embrace this role and be that positive player off the bench for y'all?
He's really done a nice job of making positive impact both offensively and defensively. I think just buying into the team concept. What happens is when you get in a conference play and you play your best against your best teams, typically your best players have to play well. I mean, that's what's got to play right now. In conference play right now, our best players have to play well if we're going to win, because everybody's challenged. And so I think that just from KD's standpoint, he's impacted us defensively. That second unit comes in, and in many ways, that second unit is better defensively than the starting unit, and it's shown. That's shown on several occasions. That energy, and then I just think that again, making better decisions. his assist turnover ratio, his shooting percentages are starting to increase after a little bit of a slow start. So, but a lot of coaches will, play a bunch of guys in non-conference, and then they get into conference play, and they'll shorten the bench. I'm not going to. These 11 guys deserve what they're getting, and they've just got to be productive when they're on the floor.
Following up on that, you mentioned kind of your best players having to play well in SEC play. You guys have been able to win in the non-conference, though, even when your best guys haven't played well. What does that say about, you talk so much about the 10-man rotation, how deep the bench is. To this point in the year, what does it say about your team that you've been able to win even when those guys might not have their best stuff?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got balance and we've got depth, and it helps us in foul trouble or, God forbid, an injury. But now that we're now that we are, where we're at right now, conference plays, our best players have got to be there for us to be able to win. They just are. But I think the thing that this team has done is look, you guys know, I thought where we were predicted in the league is about where we should be. I thought that was about right. I would have taken the 5 teams that were picked ahead of us, and I'd have put all of them ahead of us, and I'd have put us right in there at 6 or 7. And I think we've sort of played that way, maybe a little bit better. Now the next step will be, as the size and the athleticism and the physicality increases night in and night out. If Joe Lenardi's right, and there are potentially 9 teams going into the NCAA tournament, virtually every night it's a pick'em. Maybe the home team is going to be favored a lot of times, but it's going to be. We're going to lose games now that we're in conference play, and how we handle adversity, take them one at a time. Matchups are going to be important. There are certain teams that we're going to play well against because of the matchups, because of the styles of play. We can't get too high. We win a few in a row. We can't get too concerned if we lose a couple of them.